Okay, welcome everybody. I promise you don't have to just look at my face the whole time. I do have a presentation, um, but excited to have everybody here. Looks like we've got about 30 people that have logged on already. I think over 100 did sign up for this. And so I know there's a lot of people out there thinking about their businesses right now. How are they going to make it through a new time? And I know there's a lot of businesses growing right now that maybe weren't as much a month ago or 2 months ago. And so we just have a new reality that we're dealing with here. The coronavirus has taken over our news cycles. I was talking to my PR firm earlier today, and they said, hey, you know, we have great messages to put out there about augmented reality, but nobody cares right now. Everyone cares about what's the new number, what is it going on in their city? When do they get to leave their house again? When can they go to the movie theater again? So those are all very real concerns. And I want to talk about some of that today. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a PowerPoint here. Let's see if I can share my screen. I have a lot of screens set up here, so I want to make sure I share the right one. Let's see, we'll share this. Looks like that's going right. And we're going to start the presentation here. And I think we got to switch this. Okay, I'm pretty sure we are showing the right thing here. But again, the topic today is how augmented reality can help you grow during the coronavirus slowdown. There are so many small businesses out there and big businesses for that matter that are looking at their day-to-day operations, and they're seeing empty parking lots and empty showrooms, and there's all kinds of new problems out there that weren't there literally a month ago. And so there's a lot of technologies out there that many of you, I mean, we're using one right now, Zoom, right? We're having a webinar today instead of maybe meeting in a big conference room somewhere or showing up at an event to talk about these issues. But we're excited that we have the technologies available today that we do. So before we get started, I know a lot of you maybe know me, some of you might not, especially for those that might watch this recording later on. So just a quick intro. This is me and my beautiful family. This is maybe 2 years ago or so. My kids are a little older now. Got my wife Zena, and then my 4 kids: Carter, Brooklyn, Aaron, and Jacob. And Carter, I think, is almost eight now, and Jacob's almost 3 now. So anyway, that's my family. I'm a very avid kayaker. This is me up in Canada last year. I'm a pianist, love that. And I founded Seek a few years ago with one of my good friends, Mike Snow, and we're still doing that today. This is me speaking at a conference. I've spoken on augmented reality at many conferences on TV. We've won lots of great awards. We work with many of the biggest companies in the world. You can see a few logos here that you might recognize. And what we do is we help companies sell products with augmented reality. We help improve the customer experience. And so we'll talk a little bit about that later. But really what I want to talk about is not so much specifically, hey, why is Seek amazing? I will talk a little bit about that, but really just the technology in general and how it can help you maybe adjust your business a little bit during this time to keep those numbers up, right? There are businesses that are growing right now, and it's because they were prepared for this. They had e-commerce in place, or maybe they were completely e-commerce, and so maybe people slowed down a little bit, but for the most part, there's still just business as usual. Seek is very fortunate in that, yeah, we do normally go to an office. We have about 20 employees that hang out here in Lehi, Utah, and we've got a beautiful office that's empty right now, but everyone's at home. We already had Slack set up and Zoom and all these things, and it's pretty much business as usual, except that we don't get to see each other and high-five each other as often. So I want to make sure that I can provide tools to you that are in maybe some of these industries here in furniture and fashion and cars and whatever it is you're selling, that you can maybe try to get it a little bit closer to normal. So the last week or 2 or 3 or 4, however long this has been going on, I'm not really sure. I saw a picture of a clock yesterday that just had, instead of the hours, it just had the days of the week, so you actually know what day of the week it is. I think today's Monday or Tuesday. I'm confused now. Anyway, it's a different time. We've got these new headlines just popping up at us all over the place, and they're serious. They're big news, and it matters. And when this, imagine I don't know if this is the best way to look at it, but it could be worse, right? 100 years ago, when something of this scale happened last time, they didn't have any of these remote technologies. They couldn't just pick up the phone as easily. They couldn't get on the internet. They couldn't, businesses literally just stopped. And that caused some pretty significant problems back then. But I think that the world is a little bit more resilient today in that it's better prepared for something like this. People didn't know what to expect in the beginning of everything going on, right? I'm sure many of you have gone to the grocery store and said, where is that thing that I need? I went to the grocery store the other day, just in my neighborhood here, and all the cheese was gone. I don't know why people need cheese right now, but they do apparently. Toilet paper, everyone's seen those memes and water bottles and things, and people are just kind of freaking out because they don't know what else to do, right? This is something new for basically everybody. Although I did see a cool story about somebody that lived through the 1918 pandemic and got coronavirus and recovered. He's like 101 years old and lived through World War II. So there are good stories out there of people that have made it through, but most of us have never been here before. So we say, hey, what happens? And so everyone rushes to the grocery store and just buys stuff to feel better. When in reality, grocery stores are open, supply chains are still going. And actually Costco and Walmart and these companies are having some of the best quarters of their life because of this, because they were prepared with excellent supply chains to make this happen. But as people are calming down, they're starting to say, okay, life must go on, right? I'm here in a very comfortable office. I have 6 screens around me, and I've got a computer or two, I've got my iPad, I've got my voice, I've got my health. I can make this happen. And so I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. And I know that most people out there do have the ability to work at home now, right? And so they're saying, okay, so we're working, we're productive now, we've got Slack set up, we can talk as a team. Now, how do we make our business really go? How do we make this run and click in a little bit different way? Right, so we're in a new reality, and we have kind of these 2 choices here. You can be, I think this is from Robin Hood, the little turtle just hiding, and that's one option. The other option is, let's make the best of it, right? It's not good. We're not excited about anything that's happening out there. It's not a great situation, but there are ways to work through it and to figure it out and to adapt. I also believe, as I'm sure many of you have been reading, that this is not going to be something that just maybe in a month is gone, or 2 months is gone, or even 6 months is gone. Yes, I believe we will be back to life as close to normal as possible. But there are a lot of things that have changed during this month, and that will change in the next couple months as people continue to figure out how to run their life remotely. People are learning. They're learning new skills, right? R&R Barbecue is a local restaurant here, right? This is just one example of, I could give hundreds of them. They sell amazing barbecue food. But I saw a post on LinkedIn a few days ago where they said, hey, super proud of my team. We sat around, and in about a day, we built an entirely new system. We turned all of our locations into basically drive-through barbecue joints, right? So now people can go through without having to touch anything. They call in and they do they give their credit card number, and somebody comes out with gloves on and gives a bag of food. It's all very sanitary and safe, and they've been able to figure out a way to survive and thrive. This is a restaurant that's very, very popular here in Utah, and they are selling out of their meat every day, like they used to when people still went into the store. So yeah, it looks a little bit different. Success might look a little bit different for you, but it's still there. The opportunity is still completely there. This is one of my favorite restaurants just down the street from me. I was looking at some statistics this morning as I was researching and preparing for this. Online baby product sales from last year to this year. Look at those increases. That's crazy. These are the numbers for March, right? 50 to 60% increase, because people that have babies still need to take care of their babies, right? So there's opportunity there. Yeah, it might not be people going to the same stores in the same way. They might be looking now online. And so if you're an online baby supplies store, or you have baby blankets or something like that, now might be an opportunity for you to say, hey, I can get my brand out there. I can help the world. I can still work in this environment, and I can still produce something that the world really needs. So I think that's important to look at. And I found dozens of examples of this, but this was just an interesting one to me that looks pretty awesome, right? Remote technologies we're in a new era with these. crises sometimes thrust new technologies and new opportunities and new realities upon us. And when those changes happen, there's a lot of, and people again have to figure out how to do this. And so a lot of new opportunities, a lot of technologies that have been kind of sitting in the wings maybe come to the top, right? I think every company in the world now is on Slack or Microsoft Teams. That's what this logo is. They're on some sort of remote, communicating system. I don't even know how companies can exist without those before this, but we've been on Slack for a very long time. Zoom, right? A lot of people are signing up for Zoom accounts. Zoom was the CEO came out and donated Zoom to every school out there during this crisis so that they can continue, their teachers can continue to teach their students. God bless them. I'm so grateful for the teachers and everything as our kids have been at home. They have to do a lot, right? I think everybody's very, very grateful. I think if teachers ever wanted to go for a time when they could ask for a higher salary, now is the time. People have felt the pain of everything that they do, and they're amazing. But Zoom is enabling that. Zoom is enabling that technology and that communication to continue. Here's just a telehealth example. University of Utah Medical Center is one of the best in the world, and they have incredible doctors sitting there ready to talk to you. If you have a cold or a flu, or you think you have coronavirus, before you go in, you can call somebody and you can talk to them. Or if you have, you need to do physical therapy, you can do that too. I saw an incredible video of Apple's new iPad Pro that is actually sitting right here that can actually measure the the amount of rotation you have in your shoulder or in other joints and parts in your body remotely, right? That's an incredible technology that will allow people to stay at home and do this. And before this, how many people go into the doctor for a cold or a flu, right? Or something relatively simple that they probably could have gotten the same care, the same level of service from a doctor on the other end that just needs to write a quick prescription for Tamiflu or something. And so as people are forced to use this new way of doing things, they're going to stay with that thing more. It might go like this, it might go way up and then drop a little bit, but it's definitely higher than where it was before as this goes on the other side. And that that's very true, I think, for things like Uber Eats and DoorDash and Grubhub and all these different companies that are offering remote food ordering, right? A lot of people didn't know they could order a Big Mac and have it show up at their doorstep. They can be even that much lazier, but that will stay. That's something that will stay. I know my dad ordered from DoorDash not too long ago. It was his first time doing it. And he said that was easy. And now that will be a regular thing, right? Doesn't matter if coronavirus is around or what's going on. Being able to order in, it's not just Chinese food that you can order, or pizza anymore. It's basically anything. And many of you have been using all of these things already, and that's great. You are definitely at the head of the pack. But this event is shifting the curve, right? Shifting everything to the kind of the more center of the bell curve, where everyone is being forced to use remote technologies. And augmented reality is one of those big ones. Augmented reality, and we're going to talk about this for a minute now, is kind of a new way to do business and to engage with customers. It's a new type of customer experience. By the way, please ask questions if you have them. I will stop at the end or maybe in a minute here and look at that and look at the chat. But for now, I'm just going to kind of roll on this. But I do want questions if they're there, if you have questions about anything. So anyway, back to augmented reality. Augmented reality is one of those remote technologies. And just to clear the air so that everybody that's watching knows, VR is going to be the difference between VR and AR, virtual reality and augmented reality is augmented reality typically doesn't involve some sort of a headset. There are headsets and those are coming and they're better, but up to now, most of the time you're putting on some sort of headset that blocks your vision and you're in a whole new world, and there's really amazing things you can do for training, gaming, simulations, all kinds of really fun things, especially disabled people that can't move in the same way. They can all of a sudden go skydiving. They can experience things that they haven't been able to do before. There's a lot of great things about virtual reality, but for purposes of today, we're talking about augmented reality, which is going to involve some sort of a camera, some sort of device with a camera and a screen, right? So that could be your phone, right? That could be your iPad. It could be your computer. Computers do have, you know, a camera and then a screen, although it works a little bit differently. Most of you have seen augmented reality in some way or another. Hopefully many of you have seen some of what Seek has done, but you know, maybe you're on Snapchat or you're on Instagram or Facebook and you see some sort of a face filter. That's augmented reality. That's changing the real world to show something else in it, right? And so in this picture that we're seeing right here, right, you've got a fireplace and then you've got a nice chair sitting right there that isn't, you can't quite see, but there's no chair behind there in real life. That chair is being projected through the phone, and that's a live shot of saying, hey, now I know what it would be like if I had this nice, you know, reading chair or executive chair sitting next to the fire. So augmented reality, another thing I want to point out is it's kind of a paradigm shift, right? If you look at photos and videos, they're, you know, they've been around and they're not going anywhere ever, right? They're always going to have a very important role. But what's a little unique with them is the when you're looking at a picture or a video that someone else has produced, like you have 4 people in this picture right here, you know, staging this photo to make it look awesome, or staging this video to make it look awesome. And so, yeah, that chair looks great in that person's perfect living room, or those shoes look great on that model. But augmented reality now lets you see it in your life. And so there's a paradigm shift that changes from this pictures and video over to augmented reality to say, okay, this is what it looks like in a perfect life that's been staged. And that's important. That's good for marketing. But what you really want is you want customers to say, hey, I feel like I now understand what this product is going to be like in my life before I buy it. So augmented reality is very, very powerful. It's a paradigm shift, and it's a technology that can grow during this time. There's a few industries out there that are you know, basically have to go all in on augmented reality right now, and a couple of these have. You know, IKEA's been doing augmented reality for a long time. They have it inside of their app, and it's great. Ashley Furniture, I know, is trying to work on some things there. Best Buy, I don't think they've done much, but these are a couple companies here that right now, this guy, this car salesman down at the Chevrolet dealership has no one to talk to. So what's he supposed to do? He has to figure out how he can sell a car, right? And you know, Seek is talking to a bunch of car dealerships right now, trying to help them figure out, can our technology help them continue to do business? People do still need cars. They still need to get around. People's cars are still breaking down. Things, you know, life has to go on. And so they have to figure out how to do this. People, as I mentioned before, even when all of this is passed and the doors open back up, people are going to be more wary of going out in public. They're going to wash their hands more. That's great. We're going to have great hygiene all across the world. I'm super excited about that. But people are going to say, hey, can I do this from home? Can I order my hamburger? Can I order my Chinese food? Can I order my Cafe Rio or whatever it is at home instead of having to go out? Can I buy my car online? Can I buy my TV online? Can I see what it looks like on the wall first? Hey, yeah, that 55-inch is going to look really good right there. Maybe 65 is too big, right? But there are certain industries that are feeling this more than others. Some furniture stores are just empty and they don't have an online presence. And that's very, very difficult for them. So let's dive into augmented reality specifically and talk about it for a while, how it really helps, how it works, and some of the examples and case studies that we have here. So augmented reality helps brands improve their relationship with their customers. That's really important. It's something that we think about at Seek every single day. We want to make sure that everything that we're doing is helping the brand, your brand, improve your relationship with your customer, right? And we believe that that boils down to 4 main elements here. You have experience, you have visualization, personalization, and trust. And each of these are important in their own right. So we'll just dive right in. So first of all, experience. Just right at the top here, retailer A versus retailer B. If you have 2 companies that sell the same product and one has a better experience, they're going to win every time, right? People, especially millennials, younger generation, they are looking for experiences and causes and engagement in ways that isn't just looking at a catalog, you know, online, right? They're trying to figure out how they can take this to the next step and how they can engage with the brand and have the brand actually engage with them. They're looking for experiences. And so augmented reality provides an incredible experience that can be done anywhere, right? For Seek Tech, for anybody that works with Seek, any of our customers, We enable it to work on cross-platform, works on any device, any phone they have. In the future, it'll work on Apple glasses and Google glasses and all those great things. But right now, it makes an impact because it creates an experience that's basically automated and ready to go today. It's also very memorable. It's very exciting. I'm going to prove it to you, right? So those of you that have done augmented reality, this is great. We can do it right now. I am going to do my very best to do this demo on screen. If you have a phone or an iPad or whatever, open your camera and just point it at that QR code and then tap on the little thing that comes up on top there. I'm going to see if this actually works here. There it is. Right. So I've got, it's just here in my office, and here we are. We've got a nice surfboard, and it's a beautiful object. It's great. I can come into the 3D view as well, and I can zoom in on it. Right. And so this is on an Apple device on a nice, new iPad. So it's a very beautiful experience. Hopefully you can see that well. But here it is in my room. I know how big it is. I'm going to try to do this without hiding my view, but I can actually stand up and I can walk around and I can look at it, and it holds its position. It is true to size, right? And that's really important, right? I want to be, I trust this size so well that I would use it to buy a new refrigerator or a new dishwasher or something like that. In fact, I'm shopping for a dishwasher right now, and I was looking around and I found 0 retailers selling dishwashers with augmented reality. And that's disappointing. And so that's an opportunity that I'm going to follow up on. I need a new dishwasher, and I don't know if it fits in my space. Yeah, I can go find a tape measure or something like that and try to figure it out. But I just want to see what it looks like in my space. Do I want a black one like I have right now? Do I want a stainless steel one? I don't know, right? I'd love to see it and try to make a decision based on a real visualization. But for most people that haven't tried augmented reality, back to this really quick, it is memorable and exciting, right? People remember that when we go to conferences and things, and even people that have seen augmented reality, they see how simple and easy it is to just scan a QR code or click on a link, and boom, it just pops up and it works and it stays there. And it's so simple and smooth and works well. And that's what we really want people to do. So you want to bring people an experience. So we're going to show a quick video, I think is the next thing here. And I'm just going to be quiet for a second. I hope this audio comes through well, and we'll just let it go.
Here we have a 1950s American shopper. Ah, the pleasure of purchasing without ever entering a store. You see, the ways in which we shop have always been evolving. Tuning in to the latest advancements in technology to bring the things that we love to buy closer and closer into our daily existence. As time marched forward and the internet brought new possibility, how we shop was poised to change at a faster pace than ever before, which it did at first, until it stopped. Now is the time for a customer experience revolution. With augmented reality, we can finally do more than just see a product. We can experience it within our own lives. What's next in online shopping is happening now.
Get there today with Seek.
So again, back to experience just for 1 second to finish this up and drive it home. You saw the guy sitting there, and he's just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and from 1950s all the way to today, he's just looking at a catalog, and there's pictures and prices and pictures and prices and pictures and prices. And that's really all he's seeing. People have been doing that for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden at the end, he enters in and he's standing up and he's engaging with it and he's experiencing it. And that's what augmented reality can bring to virtually any product today. And that's exciting for me. Let's get back over this. Okay, so the next step here is visualization. Visualization is very, very important. It affects returns. It affects confidence. It eliminates doubts, right? You just know, right? If you can see it in your space, you know it works. One of our customers is Bullfrog Spas, and they're an incredible company that sells unbelievable hot tubs, right? If you're looking for a hot tub right now because you're at home a lot and you were putting that off, look up Bullfrog Spas and check them out. They're one of the top ones in the world. So there's my little plug for one of our clients, but they sell a big expensive product, right? I think their spas are somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000, at least for some of the better ones. So if you're going to spend that much money and you're going to buy it online, right, and you're going to put it in your backyard as a permanent fixture, how helpful would it be to say, hey, I just wonder what it looks like, or maybe should I go brown or should I go white? I don't know, but let's look at it and then we can make a decision and we can know, right? It's not just, oh, I think it'll look good. It's, I know, there it is. There's a picture, right? And that's a big deal. Eliminating that doubt, it actually increases confidence, but it also increases speed of purchase, right? When we work with furniture companies, a lot of people tell us that, especially for more expensive items, that people are coming back 6 or 7 times before they purchase it, right? They want to make sure this is the right one. But with augmented reality, it reduces that by about 50%, right? So we want to make sure that happens really, really fast and really, really easily. So we make the experience easy. But being able to answer these questions of, does it fit? Does it match? Do I like it in my home? Is going to help, and it's going to reduce returns. Costco's top 2 reasons for products being returned is it didn't fit or I didn't like it in my space. Those are the top 2 reasons why Costco has big products returned. A massage chair. Someone says, hey, that $2,000 massage chair looks awesome. I'm buying it. Then they put it in their office and it takes up half the room, right? And they say, wait a second, this isn't going to work. So we're going to have to return it. Now, Costco has to deal with a return product. So now they're probably selling it for less. They have to deal with the return shipping. They have to deal with potentially an unhappy customer, although Costco's pretty good at just making it work so they make the customers happy. But most businesses can't afford to just constantly be sending something out, returning it, and sending it back and forth. That just doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. So visualization is important. Next step, personalization. This is one of the coolest things about augmented reality. Everybody wants to be able to have whatever shopping experience they're doing customized to them. And augmented reality is the ultimate in personalization. I'm going to see what that surfboard looks sitting here in my office, or maybe with me on it, right? I could have even laid it down and stood on it and have someone take a picture of me. I can see what those shoes look like on my feet. I can see what that new desk looks like in my home office that I'm spending a lot of time in now, and I'm trying to upgrade it, right? Every furniture company right now should be focusing only on home office products because that's what people are buying. And maybe people are buying, new couches because they're, spending more time at home and finally getting around to replacing that broken couch or something. But they're able to see it in their home, right? Not in some, other person's home where it looked great. And I think just as important as creating a great experience is preventing bad experiences. I think the most important thing augmented reality can do is to say, hey, I bought this thing, I bought this table, and I put it in my room, and I don't like it. But if I can see it with augmented reality first and say, oh yeah, I don't like that. That's the wrong table for my office, for my room, for my conference room, for my whatever, right? Fine. Hey, wait, this one is the right one, right? Being able to prevent that bad experience, prevent the return costs and the shipping costs and the hassle and everything. It's just a bad experience. I got a bad ring, the doorbell thing that from Amazon that I ordered, and it didn't work, right? I turned it on, it was broken, it was a dud. And so I contacted Amazon to send me a new one, and they sent me a new one, no questions asked, and said, hey, just make sure you send the old one back. And I just didn't do it. I lost $100 because I didn't do it because returns are a hassle. And so if I didn't have a perfect experience, it's $100, I'll live. But it's not great, right? Either way, it's not great for the consumer. Next time I go to buy a ring, I'm gonna be a little nervous about that, right? And so we want people to be able to make a better buying decision the first time. And I think that's what augmented reality can do. These numbers are pretty interesting, right? Dissatisfied customers tell 9 to 15 other people about their experiences. right? And about 1 in 5 people will actually leave a positive review. So it takes 40 positive customer experiences to overcome 1 bad one. So you can do the math on that. And it's important, so important to prevent bad experiences. And I think augmented reality can do that better than almost anything else for certain products. The last thing I want to say here is the first thing up here is ownership. There's also some psychological effects. When I say, hey, I like the way that surfboard looked, or I like the way that kayak looked, or I like the way that thing looked, I like the way that car looks in my driveway. Hey, I could be happy coming home and walking up to my house and seeing my car sitting there in the driveway. That's a reality that I like. That's an image that I like. And so people start to feel ownership in their products, right? Okay, we're gonna go through trust here, and I'm gonna stop for a second. I'm gonna look at the Q&A before we go through to the last part here. So trust is so important, and I think everything comes back to trust. If you are a company that sells products and you believe in your product, then you should be doing everything you can to get your products into augmented reality. You want people to see your product because it's so awesome. And if they just see it in their home, they will buy it, right? That should be your process, your thought process. You should believe in your product so much that you want the customer to see everything, right? It's going to increase the trust from your customer because they're going to know this retailer, this brand cares to invest in my decision being made properly. They don't want to just sell me a product. They want to make sure they sell me the right product. So that's going to increase loyalty when they find that shopping experience that they like, where they're making that right decision. They're finding they're making a bad decision less and less and less. They're going to come back. They're more likely to share that, right? So as a retailer, as a brand, it's your responsibility to provide as much information as possible for customers to make the right decision. Okay. All right. Let's pause just for 1 second here. I'm going to see if I can open up the chat and Q&A, and I don't know how I can see this. I might have to actually close out of this for a second and jump over to Zoom. Let's see here, meeting controls. Okay, so here's some chat. All right, give me just a second here. We're gonna just talk through some of these things. All right, here, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger here. And okay, so we've got Chris and Ryan, welcome everybody. Okay, so from Russell, how do you think you could use augmented reality for an app to enhance the app itself, make it a delightful or novel experience, a wow factor type thing? Let's say if this app is related to a user's health, the app isn't doing e-commerce and it isn't an entertainment app. The app is only trying to sell a subscription to the app or purchase the app and not sell an external product. Yeah, I think augmented reality can be used for, this is something I actually have a lot of opinions on. My vote, for the most part, is augmented reality should have a purpose, right? If you just have augmented reality to have augmented reality, maybe not super useful. As an example, if you can do it better with a video, do it with a video. Number one, it's gonna be cheaper. Number two, people understand how to use it immediately, right? So it's probably just gonna get used more. But if augmented reality does add something to it, and it could just be cool, right? It could just be a wow factor thing. Maybe your mascot for your company or something is a dragon and you want a dragon to fly around the room. That's cool. That's a wow factor thing. It's something I would look at and say, wow, that brand cares about themselves so much, they're willing to bring experiences to me to make that happen. So that's a good question, Russ. I do think that augmented reality does have a wow factor application, and I'm excited about that. Hey, Eric Jackson, excited to have you on here. Eric Jackson makes the best kayaks in the entire world. So check out, and he's started a new company, Apex Watercraft. Watch for that. If you're a kayak, if you fish from a kayak, fish from a boat, check out Apex Watercraft. That's my plug for him for joining here. Excited to have him. We've got Larry. Looks like Chris is jumping in and adding some thoughts here. Chris used to be the CTO here at Seek, and when we used to do something else with AR, and so he knows a lot about it. So let's see here. Okay, so Larry, you're asking a good question, right? We were adding more than one item in a scene per your video. You showed a chair, a table, and a lamp at one time. Is that possible? Or was it just done for your promo video? Yes and no. Absolutely, there are ways to show more than one object. There's some new technology out that allows us to do that. We can configure it specifically on Google Chrome. On Apple devices, it's a little bit harder, but we can do it. And those new features are getting rolled out kind of one day at a time, but we're excited about where those are going. Okay, Henry, I think this is a great tool for contractors to do retrofits, can create their own websites with key visual assets, countertop styles. Absolutely, I think that's spot on, Henry. Lots of ways you can use this in for contractors. Yes, I'm not even going to try to say your name. I think Bipi. Actually, I'm going to Bipin Chandra. I think you joined late. Will the deck and recording be shared? The recording will be shared. Happy to share the deck too if that helps. Okay, let's see here. Eric Allman, I bought 2 pieces of exercise equipment for my house this weekend since gyms are closed. Both take up way more space than I was hoping, but now they're assembled will be a major pain to return. Yeah, I've put together big, I mean, heck, I put together this, see if I can point this way a little bit for a second. This big bookshelf right here, I got that at a store and had to come home and put it together. And it was quite the process. And I guarantee you, if I tried to take it apart, I'd just break it, right? So that thing is here, and it would have helped a lot to just know beforehand, hey, what does it look like? Is this going to work? Luckily, I really liked it, and I was able to make the decision. And people have done that for years, right? I'm not saying it's not possible to shop that way, but it's just a much better, more sure experience and avoids this, hey, man, now it's going to be a major pain to return this. So Eric can either keep his exercise equipment and just be angry every time he walks in the room and say, man, I wish I could walk around this room better. Or he could have figured it out beforehand and maybe chosen something a little bit different. Thank Carlson. We'll send you the recording so you can grab the rest here. AR for cars from Norbert. I can see web AR working for smaller products, but is the Atlas web AR's model quality sufficient for a premium quality car visualization? Yeah, as long as the model is made correctly. I have an Aston Martin. If you go to seekxr.com and click try it or click on the demo, you can see an Aston Martin that looks amazing, right? So it absolutely is possible to work through a web AR type of environment. And Larry, don't forget to show the puppy. Okay, fine. I'll show the puppy really quick. See if I can show him. He's just sleeping right there down on the ground. Maybe I'll pick him up in a little bit and wake him up and show you guys at the end. Okay, so let's dive back into this and see if we can finish up here. We don't have a whole lot left, but I'm going to jump back into this. And I think I got to swap again. All right. So trust. So all of this again comes back. And I've said this a couple times, I think, but all of it comes back to happier customers. You want your customers to be happy and to come back, right? You want less product returns. We see on average at Seek with our customers 25% reduction in returns. That's pretty cool. And let's talk about the environment and the world for a second here. There will be $1 trillion in e-commerce returns in 2020. That is a big, big number. Not only for the environment, because in all those products, a lot of them are ended up in landfills and a lot of them are plastic and there's lots of packaging and so much waste, right? But the economy, goodness gracious, what if we could reduce returns by 25% and save the economy $250 billion that could go elsewhere? I'm looking at the same stimulus package as you guys are, and $250 billion would make up a big part even of the crazy bill that we just passed in Congress, right? $250 billion is a big deal, and companies should be looking to this immediately to make sure you're more efficient, more streamlined, helping your customers make better decisions, and really being able to provide that experience that people really want. So, interesting statistic: only 9% of brick and mortar sales are returned. It's about 30% for online. That's pretty big, right? So why is that? It's because when you're in store, you can pick up the product and you can feel it and say, hey, I like where those buttons are. I like the way this feels. I like the way it looks. I understand how big it is, right? There's just a different thing. And so augmented reality, yeah, I can't touch it, feel it. I don't know how shiny it is quite in the same way, but I can see it. And that's a big, big part of that, of reducing that number from 30% down to a much lower number. And I think, just as important, 86% of people are willing to pay for a better experience, right? So maybe you have to pay for Seek or for some way to get augmented reality to your products. Okay, raise your prices a tiny bit. I think people are willing to do that if they know that they're going to get a better experience from you, because if you try it in AR and you see that it fits, and then for some reason something's different and they guarantee that return, you can come up with great policies and great messaging and a great customer experience that people are willing to pay a little more for. One of the things that has helped propel augmented reality into the mainstream in the recent past is the fact that Seek is able to do this directly on the web. You don't have to download an app. So that's really, really important. The past AR struggle before Seek came around is you would have to, most people start their search on Google, right? They sit down and say, all right, I need a new table. I need a new kitchen table. And so maybe they land on IKEA or Overstock or something like that. And then IKEA says, hey, you can view this in your room. Tap here. Oh, awesome. Cool. Click. Oh, it takes you to the App Store. Oh, I have to download an app. Okay, download it. Oh, I have to create an account. All right, where was this product again? What was I shopping for? Okay, I found this. And all right, how do I work this? It's so many steps, so much friction, and people get lost in that process very, very quickly. And so what we do is we say, hey, yeah, you can keep it in your app. We have SDKs and things that let you put it into your app if you have one that's existing. But the fact of the matter is 90% of people are shopping on the web, not in the app. And so we enable it to work directly from the web, whether it's on iOS on Safari or on Chrome or on Android on Chrome or on whatever device you like. Seek makes it work everywhere without the need for an expensive app to maintain. Apps are so hard. Seek started as an app company, and we published an iOS app and an Android app, and we had a huge team of people trying to maintain it and constantly getting rejected from the App Store, and because one little thing was wrong. And it is a pain. It is expensive to build and very expensive to maintain. And so why do that when you can just have an incredible mobile experience on your website and make that be able to do all the things that the app could do, right? And then you just have to maintain one property. You just have your website, which is where people want to be anyway. It's cheaper. It's absolutely the right choice. Now, apps do offer a few advantages in really, really custom things. For example, let's say you want to tile your floor, and you want the app to measure the floor and see how big it is and show, exactly the room as it's going to look like with some new tile or some new carpet. Great. You might need an app to do that, right? But the appless AR experience is getting better and better and better. And it's so smooth and easy. And for most product sales, the experiences that are available today are incredible to that user. And we just added the ability to be able to add a buy now button. We're soon adding the ability to be able to do multiple objects and build a little scene, and all of those things, be able to add it to cart right from the camera view. There's so many things that are coming with Appless that don't build an app. Don't build an app. Please don't build an app. If you already have one and you have a lot of users, great. Let's integrate it in there, right? And the good news is it uses the same system that we use for the Appless piece, and so it's really easy to integrate. So you'll have it in your app and on your website. But if you don't have an app and you were considering it because you want AR, don't do it, right? Put it on your website. It works better. It's easier. It's smoother. All you brands that are sitting on here, retailers, and these are some of our customers here. They're stepping up to the table with augmented reality, saying, "Hey, this looks really cool. We see all these benefits. 30% increase in conversions, 150% increase in conversions, 25% reduction in returns. That's great, right?" But then they say, "Well, wait a second. What? You don't like? It works on Apple, but why doesn't it work on Android? It works on Instagram, but why doesn't it work on Facebook? They're the same company, right?" There's a very, very complex ecosystem out there. And if any one of these brands tried to take it on and say, "Hey, we're going to make sure that our 3D files and our AR assets and everything that we have are compatible and ready to go with all these," then you're going to have to basically build Seek within your own company. And I guarantee you that's way more expensive than just coming to Seek, where we handle it for everybody, right? You can come to us and we can make sure that your 3D and your AR is consistent and working and compatible and automatically scalable, right? It's okay if you have maybe one or two products. You could try to do it on your own. It'll be a lot of work, by the way, to make it work on all these different platforms with one or two products. But what if you have 1 or 2,000 or 1 or 2 million, right? As I know that a lot of companies that we work with do. It's virtually impossible, right? And so trust Seek to help you navigate this complex ecosystem. And I haven't even included everything. We have brands here coming to say, "Hey, like Lowe's and Walmart and other retailers, Target, and people saying, 'Hey, can you help us deploy AR on our website And if they're hosted by Seek, can they just automatically deploy to there, right? And the problem is each one of these different retailers is doing it differently, right? And so Seek can help you deploy across the entire ecosystem, and you don't have to worry about it at all, right? To give an example, to just dive into a couple of these, and this isn't even a completely comprehensive list, but Google has Google AR Ads and Google AR Search, right? And they have AR Core that works in app, and they have Android WebOS AR Core that works in Chrome. They have Google Glasses. Guess what? There's a different file type required for every single one of these, right? Same object, right? We've made a 3D file of an iPhone, and Google wants to sell it everywhere, want to run ads on everything. We have to produce 5 different file types to make these work everywhere, right? Apple, iOS, 11, 12, and 13. Each of these systems actually interpret augmented reality files differently, right? So who knows what's going to happen when iOS 14 comes out? We may have to change all our files again, but then we have to make sure we still support for anyone who might be on 13 or 12 or 11. And what if you're on an iPhone 6 versus an iPhone 10 versus an iPhone 7, right? They all do different things. And so just within that tiny, 2 of these people in the whole ecosystem, there's so much variation. And for any individual brand to try to take that on, it's probably not the best decision. Find somebody to take care of it for you. Seek is the best in the world at doing it. We'd love to work with you. Here's a case study of one of our customers, right? They saw improved conversions of over 150% with home furnishings. There's no question that home furnishings is the best category overall, no question. But there are a lot of companies out there that can see anywhere. We see anywhere from 30% to 200% increase. And sometimes we only see a 10% increase, right? But it's 10% increase. How many of you would like to see a 10% increase with your sales conversions, right? What would that do to your numbers? That's pretty big. So really quickly here, a big piece of what we do is actually behind the scenes. We do enable this to work on the web. We do enable this to work, and that we take care of that end user customer experience. But a lot of what we do happens inside of what's called Seek Studio. And I'm just going to take a quick moment to tour you through Seek Studio here. So here it is, Seek Studio. It's brand new, actually. We just did a new update, but you can quickly come in. This is just our demo page. So there's going to be a bunch of random products here. We'll do a piano. I like pianos. So here I can just quickly see all of my objects. I can double click on this and come in. We automatically are showing all the different compatibilities that are here. I can click in here and view the model really quickly, see what it looks like. I can view it in real life by looking at it quickly, clicking on a QR code here. Sorry, pointing that at there and seeing a piano in my room. I can look at details. I can look at all kinds of dimensions and history and drafts and analytics, and I can look at my embed code. So we have an entire system that handles everything at scale and automatically produces everything that you need to do. One of the things that I think has a lot of companies worried about, hey, we like augmented reality, we just can't do it. It's too big of a project. We can't take it on. I bet for most brands out there, we could have augmented reality up and working with a significant part of your most viewed products in 2 weeks, right? Seek is able to do this easily for you, right? We have built systems that make it easy for the brand and for the user. That's what augmented reality needs. It needs to be as easy as click here. Boom, it's up. And for the brand, they just need to be able to copy paste something and have it installed. It's done. It's no harder to install Seek than it is to install a YouTube video on your website. Okay, let's finish up here really quickly. So to review, augmented reality is more important now than ever before. It is. This new day of social distancing that is not going to go away anytime soon. Even when we go back to work, people are still going to say, how can I do this remotely? Can I do it remotely? And when they learn that they can do it remotely and it's easier than maybe going to the store and they could save the gas and the trip and all of that, that's great. I think for a time right after, everyone is going to want to get out and go to the store because they can all of a sudden. But they'll come back and they'll say, hey, you know what? We need to do this differently. Out of crises rise opportunities to do better. This is important to me personally. I always look for the good in everything. There are new companies being born right now. There's a lot going on in the world that's tough to deal with. But people are saying, okay, Is there a different way to do this? Is there a better way to do this? And things that people discover during this month while they're at home, or 2 or 3 months while they're at home, will be the new norm afterwards, because they found a better, faster, cheaper, more efficient, whatever way to do things. And that's important. So look for opportunities in every crisis, whether it's this one or the next one, of how you can do something better, or how you can be better. Along those lines, AR is probably not the only thing your business can do to improve at this time. Maybe now that you don't have a lot of people coming, you can work on your messaging. You can work on what project have you been putting off, right? Look there and see what you can do. Be creative, be bold, go for it, right? You can be the turtle and hide, right? Or you can say, hey, how do we adapt? How do we make this work? We will overcome, we shall overcome, in the great words of Martin Luther King Jr. He was fighting a different type of battle, but we are definitely fighting something today, and we will overcome. We'll make it through. So Seek does want to help. Anybody that's on here that is not a client, if you are a client, hey, we'll do a few models for you to make you, to help improve our installation with you. If you are not a client, we will do 10 3D models for free. We will install it for free. We will give you 2 months free after installation with no strings attached. And maybe 3 months. We just want to get you up and running so that you can do business today, right? If you already have augmented reality objects and you have it in your app and you say, hey, we want to get it on our website now, great, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Send a quick note to me, and either I will take care of it or I'll send it to someone on my team. We've got a big team, and so we'll probably just divvy these out as people come in. But please send a note directly to me. I will respond and thank you for attending, and we'll jump on it today. But we want to help. We know we can help. If you've wondered about it, this is an opportunity to try it completely for free and see the type of impact that it can have on your business. And we can get it up and running very, very quickly. We've had a couple companies just this last week say, hey, can we get this installed like today? Please, today, can we get it in? We need this. We have people wanting to buy our product, but they're asking questions about what it's going to look like in real life. How big is it? And we want to show them. We want augmented reality. So again, I think there's opportunity here for everybody. So I am going to close this again right here. I'm going to come back over to questions and see if there are any more. Looks like jumping out. State Farm uses their app for damage claims to somewhat cut out the adjuster from needing to take pictures of damage. The app guides you into fitting the vehicle into the proper angle and frame on lining up the outline of the vehicle. That's a little different, but it's very close. And using these visual technologies, there's all kinds of applications for it. So that's great. Thank you for sharing, Ryan. Henry, if it is AR, if you use see what I see and touch what I touch, it is being used in remote support. Yes, this is very cool. Remote support is a great, great impact. And James, thanks so much. Great to have you, James. And Norbert, thanks, John. If you have a rough CAD or FBX model, how many hours is it to transfer it to web AR compatible model? If you have an FBX model, our system is likely able to deal with it. So please send it our way, and we'll make it work. Mauricio, can expand a little bit on multiple objects in web-based experience. Can it be or not be done now? It can be done now on Chrome. And on Safari, we expect it to be available a little bit later this year. It can be done in an app today, no problem, right? Like I said, apps do provide a little bit more flexibility in everything that can happen, but it can be done. So great questions. Are there any more questions? Let's see, do you scan the products with a 3D scanner or photogrammetry? That's a great question, Ryan. We do not need you to send us your products. All we need to create a 3D model, if you do not have them, is pictures. Send us your product pages and you likely have the information. We need pictures and dimensions, that's it. So if you send us your product pages that you already have and say, hey, we want these 10 products, we'll get them back to you in a week and we'll get it installed, okay? Perfect, well, thank you everybody. I'm gonna put up my information here one more time here. Again, Jon Cheney, CEO, there's my phone number. If you wanna text me, I'll answer you. And you can also email me there. I'm in Lehi, Utah. And it's beautiful here. It's an absolutely amazing spring day, and I wish that I could go kayaking, but kayaking involves lots of getting close with other people and sharing boats. And anyway, so I'm having to sit here and talk to you guys, which is fine. This has been a great experience. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day.